In this video, we talk about how to pay off your mortgage faster. Is it a good idea? What are the benefits? Can you pay it off all in one lump sum? That's starting right now.
Welcome to Home Buyers School, brought to you by Brookfield Residential.
Hi everyone, I'm Carl and welcome to another Home Buyers School video, a channel where you get the latest strategies, tactics, and tips from home buying experts. And remember, if this is your first time on this channel and you want to get the latest strategies from the experts, hit the subscription button below, hit the little notification bell so you don't miss anything. So today I'm joined by Mushtaba Sayed, mortgage specialist with the Bank of Montreal. And the question we're going to answer today is, how do I go about paying my mortgage faster?
Once again, it's a great question, right? A lot of people have mortgages and they don't really like having a lot of debt. They want to pay it off as soon as possible. So banks and lenders will actually give you repayment options. All your mortgages, those are built into your terms. So if you have a mortgage and you don't know what those are, reach out to your bank, book an appointment with them to go in and find out what those are. So technically, for example, a lot of banks have a 20% option to pay down your mortgage. So what this means is that, let's say your original mortgage amount is $400,000. That means that every calendar year, which is a January to December, you can put 20% of that as a lump sum, which is going to be on top of your mortgage payments. And then on top of that, we also have an incentive where you can take your monthly payments and you can increase them by 20%. So that is called accelerated. So if you actually do that, any payments that are made on top of your normal payment goes right towards principal. So what that does, it actually reduces the interest cost for the next month, since it is an average. So it's like a rolling average. So let's say you increase your payments the first month by 20%, your principal has gone down by 20% of your mortgage payment. That means that the interest cost for the next month has actually gone down by that amount as well. But if you take advantage of both these options available, you can pay off your mortgage a lot sooner. You can knock off a great number of years from your mortgage. The best thing to do is have a conversation, sit down with your bank, and help them work out a solution or a budget that works best for you, and tell them what your goals are. If your goals are to pay off your mortgage in a certain number of years, tell them that so they can work with you to tell you where you should be focusing your payments and your lump sum payments on.
And so what is the fastest way in terms of paying off your mortgage? Is it sort of like just one lump sum that you say, hey, you know what, I bought a $400,000 house, and then, hey, I can afford a $50,000 principal payment this year. Can I just put that? Or are there actually checks from the banks or lenders that you can't do that?
Mm-hmm. As long as it fits in within your repayment schedule, like for example, if it's 20% of 400,000 and it fits into that 50,000 technically would, because your maximum per calendar year would be 80,000. You can 100% do that without any checks and balances. The bank's not going to question you on that amount. That is within the terms that you have agreed to on your mortgage. So you can do that every calendar year. And on top of that, you can take your mortgage payments and pay them all and increase them by 20%, do accelerated payments, and that would pay it off a lot sooner. I recommend to my clients to do an option of both. It's to do the lump sum in the beginning of the year, so your interest charges actually drop at the end of the year compared to in the beginning of the year compared to the end of the year, and start using the option of increasing your payments as well, because it will average over the 12 years that every single month that you make that extra payment, your interest cost drops for that month. So by the end of the year, you've actually made considerable repayment onto your equity, onto your principal balance. So your interest charges has dropped significantly. So definitely sit down with your lender. If you have a BMO mortgage, definitely ask us any questions. We can get back to you guys on that to see what's the best way to pay off your mortgage sooner. I have had clients use these options and pay off the mortgage within the 5-year term that they were in. It's a little aggressive, but it's definitely doable.
Is it a good idea in general to pay off your mortgage faster than the entire term that you set about?
It really just depends on your financial goals. It depends on what your retirement goals look like. I'm not a big believer in doing that because I feel like in diversifying, your home is going to be an asset. That is the way I look at it. It's an investment, it's an asset. But like any investments, it's best to diversify your investments. If you have a house and you focus all your energy in paying it down and the real estate market drops, now your investment has actually dropped. So now you're actually at risk. But if you diversify your investments, you have some RSPs, you have some TFSAs, you have some stocks, you have some bonds, you have some mutual funds, and you're really well diversified, and then you still have some room available, then 100% start paying down your mortgage a lot sooner. but it's always good to diversify your investments.
So why do the banks or the lenders prevent you from paying, they set you a payment plan? So let's say, oh, you're only allowed to pay 80,000 this year. But what if you say you won or you inherited a whole bunch of money and you can pay 150,000 this year? Why is there usually sometimes a penalty for doing that?
The thing is, the reason is because what you're doing is technically breaking a contract that you've signed. It's a legal contract that you've signed with the bank. You decided for a 5-year term, these are what my payments are going to be. I'm not going to pay anything more than this lump sum. So when you break that contract, technically you're going to be penalized for that, right? The reason why these contracts are in place is because sometimes the bank have gone out of their way and they've given you the biggest discount they possibly could on their interest rate. So for them now, it has to kind of fit within the contract for them. So it's always best. So if you are expecting a large inheritance or you have some money that's put away to the side and you know you're going to do it, have a chat with your specialist and your lender. Maybe a 5-year fixed option is not best for you. Maybe it's an open mortgage. Maybe it's a 1-year open. Maybe it's a 6 months convertible. Maybe it's a 5-year variable. There's a lot of different options that you can do if you know beforehand what you're going to do. And it's ideal to get you into the right product. So your specialist should have a conversation with you to get you into the right product the first time around. Because the penalties is not fun. No one likes to pay penalties, but they're there for a reason. And if you break a contract, unfortunately, they're going to come. It is a legal binding contract that you sign.
And remember, if you want to know more about variable versus fixed mortgage, watch our video above and in the description below. So that's the one thing I couldn't understand is, wouldn't the banks or the lender want to get their money faster? Or is it more because they're counting on like the interest rate that you're paying on top of that?
So the way it kind of works is the banks, they make money. This is how their revenue is generated. They have certain amount of loan portfolios that they generate revenue on it. And that's the reason why these contracts are in place, right? And then it's really hard for them to track if you're putting more than you need to. They do give you a very healthy, generous repayment option, which is a lot for the average Canadian. Now, if you have the one-off scenario that you won the Max Million lottery or something like that, that's a conversation that you can have with them and then see what they're willing to do as a one-off. But generally, most buyers and Canadians or mortgage holders fall within the repayment, so they don't really need to do more than that. So the reason is because you've signed a contract. The banks are expecting a certain amount of interest from that mortgage based on the contract they've given. They might have gone out of their way to negotiate a really good rate for you. So to get that rate, you've signed a contract to be in. So now you have to abide by that contract.
Great. Do you have anything else to add in terms of paying off your mortgage faster?
Yeah, little things that you do can help pay off your mortgage a lot faster. It's a big misconception that you have to put large lump sum payments down if you don't have it. Sometimes doing accelerated bi-weekly payments, accelerated just means putting more than your average normal payment. Sometimes as low as $50 a month can knock off a year of your mortgage, or putting in $100 a month. Keep in mind, you can always increase your payments, and if you're not comfortable, you can always decrease them back to your minimum as well. So it doesn't hurt to check out the budget. If you have a couple $100 a month left to spare, throw onto your mortgage and see if it's tight for you. If it is, then you can roll it back to 50, you can roll it back to 40. Anything above your normal payment is always a good idea because it pays down your mortgage a lot sooner, goes right towards principal, there's no interest component to it, and it just makes sense overall.
Great. So the question of the day I have for you is, have you or are you planning to pay off your mortgage early? If you have, what are the steps you took to do it? And if you're planning to, what are the steps you're going to take? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please share, please like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Thank you, and we'll catch you next time.
That's another edition of Homebuyer School. Tune in next time for more expert tips and tricks. And visit homebuyersschool.ca to bring you one step closer to finding your dream home. As with everything, it would be great if you like and share our videos. Also, please let us know if you have any home buying questions you want us to answer.